That's going too. I love how every episode starts with like quality 2 minutes of just camera work. Oh, right on it.
Right up the butt.
Right up the butt.
There you go.
Alright. Episode 15. We've been away, but we're back at it now. 2 athletes and a mic.
Traveling the world.
Yeah, where have you been? That's how we started our last episode. Was traveling the world. We've been nowhere since then.
I was in New York. You were in
BC.
We haven't had one since you were in BC.
Yeah, I think I haven't. No, we haven't. So.
Ugh, you want to talk about that?
Quality day. No, it was a good revelation. Like I said.
So give a little context. So you went out to BC.
Yeah.
To run a 120 mile ultra.
Yeah, one of the toughest
through
ones.
The Rockies.
Through the Rockies.
Through the Rockies.
Yeah.
How did that go?
didn't go.
Didn't go.
I didn't even start. No, yeah.
800 meters.
It was. I said, "Fuck this." No, it was like I said. It's always a learning experience to go out there.
Yeah.
It was a challenge. You go out
Like,
there.
we're running up that?
Whoa!
I'm out.
Whoa! I thought we were going downhill.
Where's it?
But yeah, it was. It's a tough race, right? You're out there for a long time. It's all about how you prepare mentally and physically. Sometimes you feel really good physically, and you feel like you got the capability to get it done.
Absolutely.
But again, I saw a post the other day talking about the mental capacity going into something of that nature. A 48-hour run, 120 miles. It's going to take you a long time. It's going to beat the shit out of you. If you don't have the mental conversations prior to going into that event, and you start having these conversations that you know you're inevitably going to have when you're in like the pain cave.
Right.
You can't do that, right? You need to have those conversations prior when you're fully healthy, aware, and logical, and almost like have that preset conversation and answer for when you get into that position. Because for me, like physically, I was pretty good. You know, a little bit of tweaks, obviously, but for the most part, like the body felt great. Like an hour later, it was good. It was just mentally, I was like, I don't want to do 48 hours of this.
And you made it farther. You made it, what, 60 miles?
60 miles,
60
yeah.
miles in?
Yeah. So I was about 20 hours in. And again, I could have easily gone up more. Like it was no doubt. Like people asked me, hey, you want to go back 4 miles and you got to get the car pick you up, or you can go forward. I was like, I'll just go back. Right? Like I still went 2 hours back for 4 miles, and I did it, and it was like felt okay. Like it wasn't painful. So it was a mental thing where I hit that block. Hey, I don't want to do this anymore, and like how I talk and educate about fulfillment and creating fulfillment through challenging yourself, but also living a life that's true to yourself. So there's that balance and that dichotomy of like, hey man, I'm not having fun with this, so it's not really fulfilling at all. And I don't think just getting past 120 miles is going to be like, hey man, I did it. But looking back at it, I could have easily and prepared way more efficiently. I could have had way better conversations with myself. I could have looked at the challenge in a much more effective manner. Like I said, I wasn't picking up wins. I was going through it as in 1 hour done, 2 hours done, 15 hours done, 20 hours done. 50 miles done, 40, like I wasn't picking up wins along there. I was like, hey man, I got past 40 miles, I'm a quarter of the way there. You know, I wasn't picking up enough of those getting me stronger and inspired behind it. And again, it was just, it's a one-off excuse. I can't, it's an excuse. It is what it is, man. I dropped out because I wasn't mentally prepared. It's not an excuse, it's just, hey man, I wasn't mentally prepared for it. I can own that, and that's is what it is. Now, if I come back bigger, stronger, more resilient, and I approach these challenges more intelligently, that's a win for me. That's a
learning experience.
100%, man. I'll take that deal any day of the week because, hey, like we're not always going to succeed, obviously. And it makes for a better story, a redemption story anyways. For me, like, hey, man, like, I didn't have my shit on point mentally. Yeah. I didn't think that was going to be the case, but it happened. So if I come back and I'm better for it and I can accomplish much greater challenges with a different perspective, I'm happy that experience happened. And I know some people... A good buddy of mine, man, he really challenged me, and he got pissed that I dropped out, man. He looks up to me, and he puts me on a pedestal, and for what I've done and accomplished, and he was pissed that I dropped out, man. Like he's like, man, like I think your message is changed. And I'm like, man, like you see where I'm coming from. Like I hit this challenge. I'm not all about like fucking challenge yourself to life sucks and just get shit done. I'm also about living a balanced, fulfilling life. So there's that balance of the two. But again, I know if I give a message out being like, hey, if you're not having fun in this moment, it's okay to drop out. And that's not what I'm saying at all, because that's the message where most pussies will be like, oh, I feel pain? Okay, I'm done. No, you still want to completely challenge yourself in those environments. Now get that shit done, and afterwards ask yourself, would I want to do it again? And is it fun? Is the process fun? Is the journey fun? Is the quest fun? If so, man, then it's worth it. If you sign up for something, know deep down internally, intrinsically, that's something that you want to do, that you're going to get done. Because now if you quit that thing and you make that a fucking habit, you're really fucked. Because now you're signifying, like, everything's connected, mind and body, right? If you start quitting when you're feeling pain or discomfort, you're going to find an excuse. You're going to rationalize to yourself, and you're going to find a justification for why quitting is the better option right then and there. But we all know how that story ends. That just leads you quitting other things that are difficult. And the things that are difficult in life give you the most fulfillment. So, like I said, this is something that I'm content that it happened, but I can never, ever, ever use that motherfucking excuse again, or use that, escape route again. And now it's good, man, because I'm excited to do a 100-miler. In 2 weeks, I'm going away to do another 100-miler. And I'm getting that shit done. Like, it just is what it is. Like, I owe it to people that follow me.
Don't you think, though, with what you're saying, when you're saying that it's fun, like, it has to be fun. Like, you take a sport, I don't know, take another sport, any sport, baseball, take hockey, right? I think that the process is thoroughly enjoyable for those athletes. There are obviously moments, there are moments in my hockey career where I hated it.
Yeah.
But the majority of it, I loved it. And the difference is when you are in a team sport, a team environment like that, if you have an off day, you can still contribute, and your team can pick you up and rally around you, right? No team ever goes into competition having everybody at the top of their game.
Yeah.
But in in a sport that's so psychological and so individual, first of all, is the concept of fun. Is the concept of fun different? Is what is fun about it in the accomplishment, or is it actually in the process?
It's both, for sure. The fun comes from obviously the process and the growth that comes through it. Like, that's the art of fulfillment. Art of fulfillment is growth, ideally, right? Now, going into something like this, and why I like how it's individualized, because life is individualized. You have family and you have friends that are there to support you, but at the end of the day, it comes down to you to take care of your mental well-being.
Right.
Right?
Do you think that depends on the athlete, though? Do you think that some athletes that are ultramarathon runners are simply in it for the end goal? Do you think that there are people that are like, my accomplishment is not the journey, not self-fulfillment, not learning about myself. My accomplishment is getting to the end of that 200 miles because that's what I want to tell myself I accomplished? They
go hand in hand, because to get to that 200 mile, you're naturally growing within that process, and the growth to get past those difficult moments where you want to quit and you want to drop out and you're literally in the worst pain of your fucking life. And this is not a hyperbole, man. Like, you're in the pain that you're like, I've never been there before. I've never been in this type of tightness and pain, discomfort, and the want to quit, and yet you persevere on. That's the win of the 200 miles. So getting the 200 mile done isn't like I did 200 miles. It's, man, I got past 100 miles where I wanted to fucking quit, and I was on the ground with sprained ankles, wanting to do nothing more but go home, go under my covers, eat some pizza, and I fucking continued on, and that's making me stronger and tougher for it. So that's where they go hand in hand. And again, sometimes you just lose the perspective, man. I lost that perspective. I didn't think I was going to hit that in that race. I just didn't think it was going to be a thing. I was like, man, there's no way I'm going in there and that conversation is going to come up. I'm just going to push through. But for some reason, I was so fucking content being like, hey, man, like, this isn't really giving me any really enjoyment. I don't know if at 120 miles that's going to be a thing, because right now, physically, it's not like I'm really pushing past a physical barrier. But I should have looked at it, well, I'm getting past a mental barrier, because I'm trying to talk myself out of something. And I didn't realize it in the moment, but like I said, it was a couple days after I had perspective. I had time to talk to people, talk to individuals, and just really just, it's the most fucked up perspective shift, going from like, I'm so cool I dropped out there, I'm never going to do the 100, maybe 100 miles isn't for me, I'm not going to do it again, to then having different conversations and different insight with yourself, and then being like, I gotta do that again.
It was your buddy, he got in your head, it was your buddy.
Not so much, like, I was so very...
First of all, does this guy run ultras? The guy who said that to you, he does not run ultras.
No, but he's he's a kickboxer, and he's put himself in there as well. I'm not saying he's done what I've done. He hasn't. But again, I still saw where he's come from, because, it's just the message was a little bit conflicting. I still think my message was still fairly on point, but I could have delivered it in a better way. That's why my blog, I was very happy I wrote that blog afterwards, was that I'm okay that I dropped out of this race, but why I can never do that again. And that's the part that people need to take away from my story. That, hey, if you drop out of something, you quit that moment, that shouldn't define you, man. And I told him, like, bro, you know what I've done in the past. You see my accomplishment. You see that I'm a gritty motherfucker. Don't let one thing dictate your opinion. If it does, that's okay. That's on you. I'm okay with it. And it's okay if you think that way, but let's just look at the broader scale. And I'm like, just watch what happens next, man. If I do it again, then yeah, I'm not the guy I say I am. If I didn't learn from my mistake, I didn't learn from that experience. But if I come back better and stronger for it, then yeah, man, like I think that's the part. That's the part that's gonna tell you who that person is. And for me to go, hey, 3 weeks later, I'm gonna run that 100-mile and I'm getting this shit done. It's gonna fucking happen. I'm gonna do it in 2 weeks. September 7th and 8th in Halliburton, I'm running 100 miles. It's gonna get done. It is what it is, man. I told a member here at the gym, I'm like, yeah, it ain't not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Like, I'm getting it done. It's gonna go down. 100 miles is gonna get complete. It's gonna be, and I owe that to myself. I owe it to people, and I owe it to, like I said, myself to go through that pain that I should have gone through at the 120-mile ride. But
I think it's the athletic journey, man. Every athlete in every sport has to lose, and you have off days.
We're humans,
and
man.
Everybody's allowed to have an off day. You know, like it's.
Like I said, one off day.
Unfortunately, we expect a lot from ourselves if you're an athlete, but you're also, I think people who admire, unusual athleticism, whether it be an ultramarathon runner or whether it be a professional basketball player. Yeah. And I think whenever somebody sees somebody that they look up to not perform to the best of their ability, their instant reaction is, well, either you're not trying or how dare you, let me down. And people should put themselves, I think, in try and look at it from the perspective of the athlete who just let himself down possibly or knows what had happened. And as you said, if you take away, if there's a takeaway from that failure, then it's not really a loss, right? And if that can propel you forward and make you a better, stronger athlete for it, then it's never a loss. Even though you might not have performed to the best of your ability that day, but every single athlete in the world has days where they're not at the top of their game, either mentally or physically or both. Yeah. And unfortunately, if even one of those things is slightly out of place, oftentimes, in the high stake athletic world, you are that's going to lead to failure, or not necessarily failure, but a result that is less desirable than what you were hoping to accomplish.
Yeah. That's well said. Yeah. So then
thank you.
But like I said, it's just if those actions lead you to a greater pasture, man, like, then it was meant to happen, man. I'm sure if I got to that 120 miles, I don't know if I would have had that same revelation. I definitely wouldn't have. I would have been like, hey, bro, I toughened it out. I figured it out, and I got 120 miles done. Fantastic. Yeah. But I wouldn't have had this same realization of like, hey, you could have mentally prepared in such a better, more efficient way that you didn't think you had to do. Yeah. You thought you were there, but apparently you weren't. So now it's looking back at it, and then I still say look back at what you're doing and do things that do bring you enjoyment. Don't just do things for the sake of, hey man, like this is super challenging. I hate every aspect of it. There's other environments that you can do that are challenging and that can give you that sense of fulfillment. But it's at the end of the day, man, you getting past those moments of of toughness and difficulty that really show you who you are and make you stronger for the daily things that we go through. Because it's all about how does this enhance your day-to-day life. How does it make you a better father, brother, partner, individual? How does it open up your perspective, make you more accountable, more self-aware? Those things, those takeaways are going to lead you to a lot of success and fulfillment in your life. So that's why I do this, and that's why learning something from this is so important. So,
how's Vancouver?
Yeah, I was there. Denver wasn't in Vancouver. No, that was one place I wasn't. I was stopped off in Penticton, and then from Penticton I went to what was the lake called? Or I don't know, I forget.
So you weren't in like a
Manning
city.
Park. No. This is
small
remote, man. You can't, no cell service. Area.
Well, that's not exciting.
No.
Nice place, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah,
BC's beautiful, man. Was that your first time in BC?
No, I used to live out there.
Oh right, yeah.
Burnaby and Vancouver. So I've been there. I've been to Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver's a cool city.
Yeah.
If you haven't been, check it out. So yeah.
Go book a flight right now. Don't wait.
I remember the last time I was out there. My friend and I. It was funny. My friend and I. We were 15 years old. And somehow we got...
How'd you get out there?
Hockey team. We went for hockey. And we went into... we decided that we were going to go try and drink at a bar. Okay. And it was just him and I. We were wandering. Like, the rest of the team was at the hotel.
People that don't see you right now, you do look like a mature adult. So I could see at 15 people being like...
I just had a baby face.
Grown man a beer.
And he was as big as me. We were both like 6'1", 6'2" at 15, right? So... We were like strolling down the street, and we tried a couple bars, and they wouldn't let us in. And this was all like fairly close to the hotel. But so then we just go up to one door, and the guy just nods at us and lets us in. We're like, sweet. So we go and we sit down at a booth, and so I'm looking around,
The gay bar was.
It's a gay bar, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Let's go.
That was funny because we're looking over 15,
Matt's day
right?
was made.
Boom. We're 15 and we didn't realize it. We're just like so stoked to be in a
Didn't
place
realize
that
you were
serves
gay,
alcohol.
or you didn't realize
Both,
you were
man.
in a gay bar.
Both.
Not there's anything wrong with it.
No,
No one's saying that.
We sat down at this booth and the guy came over and asked us what we wanted. So we ordered and this is how young we were. We ordered 2 beers. And he was like, "What types of beers?" And we were like, "Molson Canadian." And that was so he brought us 2 Canadians. It's probably the only beer we knew.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there drinking beer, and then I can see my friend. He's just scanning the room, and he's like pausing on every table.
Not a lot of
And
females.
then he goes to the booth, the table, and the booth. He's just like looking around. I'm like, "Dude, what are you looking at?" And he's like, just leans in. He's like, I think we're in a gay place." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "I think we're in a gay place." And I look around, and then sure enough, I was like,
What a way to
"Yeah,
say
we
it.
are." And so but we never been to a gay bar, right? And so then we had a moment where we're like, "What do we do?" And we were like, "Fuck it, let's stay." And we just stayed.
What was the night like?
It was fun, man. It was a good time. Yeah, we stayed there for probably like 2 hours, hung out.
Yeah.
And,
I feel it'd be a fun time, right? Because you probably got some
No, it was great.
good energy.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah.
And then we walked outside, and the only other thing I remember from that night was we walked outside, and this guy was just like standing in front of us on the sidewalk, blocking us from moving on, barking like a seal. It was the weirdest thing. Yeah. It was just this
drunk?
guy like, and
Quite drunk?
I don't, or high or something,
Yeah.
and mental health issues. I don't know, but and then we'd try and like walk around him, and then he'd like shuffle in front of us and doing this went on for like 2 full minutes. Before we were like, fuck this. We just kind of pushed our way past
Like, hey,
him.
we're 6'1". We could probably kick the shit out of this guy. All right.
This guy's not going to stop us from going to the hotel. So
Yeah. Well, it's always funny when I see people that are so scared of homeless people. Like, I don't want that guy coming near me. It's like, the guy can't do anything. Like, the guy is so defenseless. Man, first off, he's probably drunk, high, has no coordination or balance. Like, realistically, if you poke that motherfucker, that homeless dude is falling down out cold.
Well, and
Yeah,
also
we're so timid. It's like the realization, like, hey, I could just fuck this guy up right now, real bad.
But that's where your head goes when you see homeless guys.
No,
like,
if he comes, no. I'm just saying, if I ever got it's like homeless guy get aggressive with me, I'd be a little bit like, hey, I don't need this guy near me. For sure, don't need that. But I'd be like, if this guy gets anywhere like in my vicinity, like 6 inches from my face, I'm like, it's not. I don't gotta worry about anything. I'll give this guy a front kick from a foot away, and he's gonna fly off the railings.
I mean, man, I try and talk to as many like homeless people as I can. Like I'm somebody who will give whatever I can. Like I feel horrible for people that have to live on the street. I really do.
I have a tough time, man, just because like I'm so fault oriented where I'm like, have you not found anything that can pay you enough money to live in a shithole?
Yeah, I'm not saying that they can't, but what I'm saying, like, you don't know that situation, right? Like, you fortunately didn't grow up.
But someone's had that same situation and it's prospered.
Yeah, I know, but somebody might not have handled it the same way, right? Like, you have people who they're like, say, you have somebody who unfortunately was, violently sexually abused growing up or something, like something horrific that no one should ever have to deal with, and then they turn to drugs as a coping mechanism as a teenager, and they never get out of that cycle. So then as a person in their early 20s, they find themselves homeless because they don't have parents or family to help lean on or take care of them, and no one's ever offered them help. So these are, it's somebody who's like battling, they're sick. Like I look at it that way.
Yeah, they have mental illness for sure.
Yeah, but they're sick people that need help, and like
But you giving them money, what the fuck? What are they gonna put that money to?
I'm not saying money. Like I will give them give them food, clothes, blankets, stuff like that. Like a few years ago, I was walking in Toronto. It was a cold day, and there was a guy who was just sitting on with his back against a wall, and he was just shivering, and. I took off my coat and gave it to him. And I was like, because I just thought, I'm like, I got like 5 other coats at home. This dude needs this coat way more than I do. Sure. And so just took off my coat and gave it to him. And he, I don't even think he said thank you. I remember that. Like, he didn't say thank you. He just kind of looked at me and nodded. And I was like, that was fine.
You're shaking him? Say thank you, sir.
Say thank you. No, whatever. Like my wife and I, we will take the kids on Christmas Day usually, and we go downtown Hamilton, like hand out leftovers and stuff to
quite the
homeless people. Yeah,
philanthropist, aren't you?
I don't know. It's just like we started because we were looking at all the leftovers we had from Christmas, and we were like, we're probably gonna end up throwing some of this out. Like, and
I don't believe this whole story. You've letting leftovers go. first.
No, it was a big.
You're
a lot
eating
of
that food, sir.
No, we had a lot of food. We ended up
Maybe
with
the chicken
turkey.
bones. I could see.
But we also thought, it's a good opportunity to teach the kids something.
It is,
right?
and I
Like,
think doing something like that, again, it makes you grateful for what you have.
Absolutely.
Really, I think that's probably one of the biggest principles for someone living a happy life is just be grateful for the things you have in your life, not for the things that you don't have. When you see a situation like that on a day that's Christmas and everyone, your family's together, you got great food and warmth, and you see like, wow, this is someone's reality.
Yeah, man. Like Christmas night.
Crazy.
And you know what made me happy, though? That it actually was difficult to find people who were living on the street that night.
Okay.
And that was like, I don't know, that brought some happiness to the project, I guess. But like, we had to search for it. And then at the end, we still had, I think, like 3 or 4 like prepackaged meals. Nice. There's just like turkey stuff and potato stuff like that, right? But it was a hot meal. And I ended up having to drive by like the Salvation Army where the what do you call it? The shelter was. And I just handed it out there because we couldn't find many people we found a few, but not many. Like, 10 years ago, if you drove around Hamilton, that was a different story, man. You could find somebody without a home on every corner. But it was just hearing having to answer that question to your children about like why these people are sleeping in a doorway, like that was the first time I think they realized, and you just hope that it instills a little bit of that belief in them that maybe I am more fortunate than other people, like maybe my parents certainly did things like that with me. My mother mainly, where growing up, where she would try and make me aware that I lived a life that was and we weren't rich, but like I lived a life that was far more privileged than the majority of people on this planet. Yeah. And I'm glad that they did, try and instill that in me.
Perspective's a powerful thing.
So, pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left here. Episode 15.
I was just looking at the Starbucks cup and it reminded me.
Oh yeah, you went off on this one. So,
If.
Rant of the day alert. Rant of the day.
Okay. Do you want me to look down the camera when I say this?
We only got 7 minutes, by the way.
I'll keep this
Plus
short.
we gotta get the other thing in.
I'll keep this short.
Alright.
If you are somebody who gets in line at a drive-thru and you order more than 2 drinks, or you order food for more than yourself and maybe one other person, you should be dragged out of your car and you should be left in the middle of the drive-thru lane for an hour. You are a terrible human being.
Generalization.
Get out of your car. Get out of your car and walk inside.
And you got into it with someone. Tell them that story.
Oh, that was a while ago. That was at Williams.
I'm still interested.
Years ago. This has been has driven me nuts for 10 years. But
make this like 97.
So there used to be
This could go.
Williams Coffee Pub. Short story. Okay, Williams Coffee Pub. There was a guy in front of me. All I wanted was a fucking coffee. They had good coffee. Yeah. So I pull up. There's one other car in front of me in the drive-thru. I'm like, fucking right. This is gonna take 2 minutes. So I pull up. Order, they're like, yep, drive through the first window, please. And I'm waiting for more than 11 minutes. I'm sitting behind one fucking car. And after 11 minutes, they hand him a giant packed bag of food. And then he puts on a seat. I'm like, fuck, finally. And then we wait more. Yeah. And then they hand him a second bag of food. And then he puts it on the seat beside him. And then he's still waiting. And at that time, I got out of my car. And I walked up and I just looked into his car and I was like, excuse me, sir. And he looked at me and he was obviously startled because I was standing next to him. And I was like, what the fuck are you ordering? And he was like, pardon me. And I'm like, what are you ordering? Like, how many bags of food did you, like, how many, are you ordering for the fucking office right now? Like, what are you doing? And if so, get out of your car. Go inside. Have some consideration for the people behind you.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like, seriously. You look at, there's 4 people behind you in line. Like, that is insane. Yeah. And restaurants, stop serving shit that takes 15 minutes through a fucking drive-thru. Yeah. Like, you can go through Swiss Chalet and get chicken from a drive. Are you kidding me? Like, but at least there you're going to be stuck, right? Like, if you're going through a Swiss Chalet drive-thru, it's not going to be quick. Like, you go up to a Tim Hortons drive-thru, you're like, I just want fucking coffee. And then some jackass in front of you orders a turkey bacon club with a fucking breakfast sandwich on the side, couple hash browns, dozen donuts, 50 Timbits. Get out of your fucking car! Like, go inside. go inside. You're a bad human being.
But the car is so comfortable. You get the warm seats going on. You can hang out. You don't got to move.
No, get out.
Body. I know.
Get out.
It's crazy. I think 11 minutes is just, that's great. If it was 5 would have been enough to be like, bro, what
they should have a sign on drive-thrus where it's like, if your order is more than $10, you must go in.
Yeah.
Or do what McDonald's does. McDonald's does a great job with it. If you go through a drive-thru and they're like, yeah, that's a huge order, dude. Park and we'll run it out to you.
Yeah, that's a good.
Right?
Idea.
You go to the designated drive-thru spot and they will run your food out to you as it's finished. But you don't make everybody behind you wait.
Yeah.
And on this note too, people who don't inch out into the intersection while trying to make a left-hand turn.
This is supposed to be a 90-second rant.
Should be shot.
Oh yeah, like so, like they're.
If the light is green,
so they don't give you the opportunity. That's
the light is green and you are sitting behind the line.
Yeah,
you should be shot. Like go, move. People behind you got places to go too.
You should get your license definitely taken away or something.
Like that.
Shot. I don't know. But,
maybe shot was a little extreme.
But I hear
it should be a ticket. It should be a ticket.
Yeah.
Like you should have to creep out into the intersection. I am not an aggressive driver. I do not have road rage. You might think otherwise given the past 4 minutes, but I don't. I'm a very calm driver, and that drives me nuts. Yeah. Like if I'm sitting behind someone at an intersection,
you give a little tap.
Yeah, I'll honk. Yeah, but then the people who do it are usually.
You know what I hate?
It's always fucking old people.
When you give someone like a courteous honk, like "Hey, just move up" or something like that, and then they give you the finger. You're like, bro, all I was doing was giving you a little head. It wasn't like an aggressive, like laying on the horn. It was like a tap, like, hey, wake up. Yeah. And then I had it the other day, man, right here on Ancaster, man. I gave her the same thing. She was going right, and in the car, it was that roundabout thing.
So people don't know moving up, man.
So I gave her a little tap, like, all right, lady, you can get the fuck going. Turns around and gives me the finger. I'm like, so then I go really fast next to her, and she's going on the highway. I'm going next to her left, like going speeding.
Run her off the road? Just run her off the road?
She died. I got a little bit next to her, I just give her a little, hey, fuck off.
Yeah.
And you see her face. I'm like, but that.
Give her the old, hey, fuck off.
The old, hey, fuck off, eh? But, it's just the idea, like, why would you give me the finger? Like, you're in a little fucking car of protection. I'm giving you a courteous honk just to move up. You have to give me the finger? Like, who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
Very annoying. I'll see we end on that because we don't got any more time here.
Remind me to tell you that the story next week of when 2 guys chased me because of a road rage incident when I was younger.
That does sound like a good story.
Got out of the car and
that's a teaser alert.
The guy got out and
tell me next week.
There was another dude and then that dude had something anyway, I grabbed an axe and then we'll go from there. Yeah.
So. Teaser for next week. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll make sure we lead off on that one. The axe story.
Scared them pretty good.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah, I just started running down the street with an axe.
Chasing 2 guys?
Yeah, because they had some type of weapon. I would not normally
We'll talk about this, but we'll hear it next week.
I was like 22.
And this guy doesn't have road rage. I got out and chased 2 guys with an axe.
They chased me, man.
Oh, they chased you, so it was like a roundabout, chasing in cars. Alright, we'll see you guys next week. Tune in Apple Podcasts. I just found out we're on that bad boy. Tune in, rate us, just do it.
And bro tip of the day, guys, work your back. You use that, you have a back too.
Perfect. Look at that, everyone's on point. We have a minute and a half here.
Gentlemen, pull something.
Whoa, I don't know about that.